Coming to you from the Lydia Media Studios in the heart of Lewiston, Auburn, it's Lydia's Lunch Bunch, LA's afternoon morning show with Mark, Sarah, and Pam. We're covering news and events in the greater LA area and talking to the people making a difference in our community. Feel free to share your comments, questions, or suggestions via email at podcast@lydiamediallc.com.
And today's show is brought to you by United Piping, serving residential and commercial customers with new installations and repairs. Call today and schedule your oil and gas boiler cleanings at 754-4556. UPI, the best plumbers around. Also brought to you by Ruper's Beverage and Redemption. When it comes to beer, wine, and spirits, don't botch it, squatch it. At 5 locations in Lewiston, Auburn, and Oxford. Learn more at rupersbeverage.com. And remember, the party starts at Ruper's.
We have the pleasure of being joined in studio today by the General Manager of Kennebec Equipment Rental, Dan Morris. How you doing, Dan?
Very good. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. And the Operations Manager, Joe Cormier. How are you, Joe?
I'm doing all right. I feel like we missed the script so that we could say the things that...
Oh, well, that's how we know whether or not you've listened to previous episodes. Mm-hmm. And apparently, you haven't.
I've listened, but
See, yeah, sometimes we have guests.
Joe speechless. That doesn't happen very often.
you know,
That's okay.
looking at the pictures.
Sometimes guests come in and they know the routine and they chime in with us because they're loyal listeners. Just saying.
He only listens to the Nords episodes.
Oh, well, why wouldn't he?
He's a billet home.
I know. Yeah, we were talking about that.
Yeah.
Stenny. Mm-hmm. You don't mess with Mike Stenberg.
Not lately.
No, he will mess you up. We're going to talk to Dan and Joe all about Kennebec Equipment Rental coming up here in just a bit. But before we get there, let's take a look at some headlines for Tuesday, April 29th.
The City of Lewiston has scheduled 2 additional meet and greets with incoming Administrator Brian Cainrath. The sessions are open to the public and do not require an RSVP. You can meet Brian today at 5 p.m. at Community Credit Union at 144 Pine Street and tomorrow at 5:30 at Tree Street Youth, which is at 144 Howe Street.
The state of Maine will roll out its new Pine Tree license plate starting on Thursday. The plates replace the existing chickadee design that has been in circulation for nearly 25 years. There is a $25 fee if you want to keep your current plate number, and it should be reserved with the Bureau of Motor Vehicles before May 1st.
The new Donald M. Gay Performing Arts Center at Edward Little High School will host the Maine State Music Theater's Fall Concert Series. The series will include 3 tribute shows featuring the music of Jerry Lee Lewis, Elvis Presley, and Buddy Holly. Maine's largest high school auditorium has over 1,200 seats and state-of-the-art technology.
And AARP Maine is sponsoring a free dessert and discuss event to cover Lewiston's valuation process. The event is tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. at the Lewiston Armory Senior Center at 65 Central Ave. Registration is available at lewistonme.myrec.com. Sarah, what time is it right now?
I think it's time for the weather.
Is it time for the weather?
Rain or shine, it's all okay. Grab your uke and start the day. Clouds may come or skies turn blue. Weather's fun with me and you. The sun is bright and storms may brew. Every day's a brand new view. You don't need perfect skies above. Hey, just a song and a little love. So painful.
Now, since we know it's your first time hearing that song, what do you guys think?
We like it when the weather's this way, and we should use that as a jingle because it'll probably get us some more rentals.
All right.
You can have it.
No! No.
Can't give it the weather song away,
All right.
Sarah.
We'll hold music.
We'll give it to you in exchange for one day's use of the popcorn machine.
Yes. Just one day? That's all it's worth to you? One day? I worked hard on that.
Oh, boy. How about the weather?
Let's talk about the weather.
Weather?
Sun and clouds today with a high of 76.
What?
Woo! And a low of 44. Sunny tomorrow with a high of 62 and a low of 42. Partly sunny on Thursday with highs in the 60s.
Sportsing? Shall we sports?
Let's sports.
Let's sports. The Red Sox will visit the Toronto Blue Jays tonight at 7.
The Celtics lead the Orlando Magic 3-1 in their best-of-7 series. Boston can wrap it up tonight at TD Garden. Tip-off is at 8:30.
Bates College baseball lost to Colby 11-1. The Bobcats will visit the University of Southern Maine this afternoon at 4:30.
The Maine Nordiques now know who they're playing this weekend.
Yeah.
They will face the stinking Rochester Junior Americans in the East Division Finals. Games 1 and 2 are this weekend in New York.
Bummer.
That's all right. We'll
There'll
get
be
them.
watch parties, I hope.
Yeah, but
Sure.
we'll get to see them clinch at home.
I was
That's
going to
true.
say, it's
That's
going
true.
to have the
That is
same
probably better.
outcome as last
Yeah.
time.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Roll Nords.
Yeah. The Maine Mayhem women's football team opened their season with a 12-7 home win over the New York Knockout. The Mayhem hit the road to take on the Baltimore Nighthawks on Saturday afternoon.
And congratulations to Lewiston's Ron Plord and Brian Seguin and Auburn's Jeff Benson for their recent induction into the Maine Baseball Hall of Fame.
Aw.
That's your news, weather, and sports. And right now it is time for the podcast segment that is Sweeping the Twin Cities.
Do you want us to do that again so you can join in?
No, I said it that time.
Oh,
Oh, you knew that one.
I was, yeah. I was on top of that one.
It's time for famous people birthdays.
They're famous. It's their birthdays. It's famous people birthdays. It's famous people birthdays.
Let's take a look at FPBs for April the 29th, shall we?
Okay.
Alrighty then. We're going to start off with Uma Thurman,
Ooh.
who is 55 years old today.
Wow.
Any Uma fans?
sure.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the Kill Bill series. And
yeah.
Uma played a big part in
she
that.
sure did.
That. And Pulp Fiction, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. How about Eve Plum, who is 67 years old today? She played Jan Brady
Jan.
on The Brady Bunch. Yeah.
And nobody remembers her.
You know why?
Marsha.
That's why. If it wasn't for Marsha, Jan would be the star of the show. Let's see here. Oh, Michelle Pfeiffer is 67 years old today. She was in Scarface. She was also the star of Grease 2.
Yeah, no.
No,
Not her highlight.
not having it.
No.
Fabulous Baker Boys.
So my Michelle Pfeiffer is the Catwoman.
Yeah.
Oh,
My
yeah.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Okay.
That was the first movie I saw her.
Dangerous Minds.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
She turned her chair backwards for that.
Ooh. Daniel Day-Lewis is 68 years old today.
Ooh.
Often described as one of the greatest actors in the history of cinema. Jerry Seinfeld. Anybody hear of that guy?
I don't know.
He's 71.
71.
71.
Was he in that show called Seinfeld?
I love his show, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee.
He's done all right.
He's
done all right for
he's okay.
himself.
He's okay.
Comedy Central named him the 12th greatest stand-up comedian of all time, and Rolling Stone named him the 7th greatest stand-up comedian of all time.
I
So
want to see that whole list.
I
Yeah,
think
I
they
do
should have a cage match.
Yeah. For those that are still living.
I do have that list, Pam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Richard Pryor was number one.
Oh, I would have put George there at the top.
I would have too. Richard Klein is 81 years old today. He played Larry on Three's Company. You guys remember that show? I
do.
Oh, you're too young.
No.
It's still on. You can get it on like Pluto and stuff.
Someone's knocking on our door.
That's right. Yeah, he was a regular.
Waiting for you. Nothing creepy about that.
No. You don't want to meet Larry at the Regal Beagle. And rounding out FPBs is Willie Nelson.
What? Who?
Yeah, 92. 92 years
Still
old. today.
touring.
Willie Nelson was a huge part of my childhood. My dad loved Willie Nelson and Johnny Cash. We listened to a ton of their music. He had them on 8-track.
8-track.
Yeah. Remember like bouncing down dirt roads in my dad's truck listening to Willie Nelson on 8-track.
There you go.
Those are your FPBs for April the 29th. Now let's take a look at some OTDs. Huh? On this day, 7 years ago in 2018, The Simpsons passed Gunsmoke for the highest episode count of any show in television history.
Wow.
Gunsmoke had 635 episodes over its 20-year run, and The Simpsons are up to 765 and counting.
And still going.
Amazing.
And they've been around for more than 20 years, right?
Oh, yeah.
Simpsons?
Yeah. And Marge hasn't aged a day.
Wow. And neither's Maggie. Isn't
I was
that
going to say,
weird?
Yeah.
Maggie's still a baby.
Right. 21 years ago on this day in 2004, the National World War II Memorial opened in Washington, D.C. 33 years ago in 1992, Emilio Estevez married Paula Abdul.
All right.
And I think it lasted, I don't know, a couple hours.
She was not forever his girl. Sorry.
Just when you thought opposites attract.
Yeah. Yeah.
It did
Did
not.
she ask him straight up?
Come on, you guys,
love
keep it
her
going.
forever.
Keep it going.
Oh, so good.
We took all the low-hanging fruit.
You went 2 steps forward and 1 step back.
Yes. There it is.
Love it. All right. 33 years ago on this day in 1992, the LA riots began.
I remember that.
Yes, after the
Scary.
Rodney King incident. Rodney famously went on TV asking if we could all get along, and that answer was an affirmative no.
Apparently not.
We cannot. 36 years ago today, in 1989, John Bon Jovi married his high school sweetheart, Dorothea Hurley, at the Graceland Wedding Chapel in Las Vegas, and they are still married to this day.
Aw.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Just living on a prayer.
Ooh, nice. 39 years ago on this day, in 1986, Roger Clemens became the first pitcher to strike out 20 batters in a single game.
Wow.
Amazing feat. He's done it twice, and Kerry Wood did it.
Kerry Wood, I think, did it twice, too.
He did?
I think so.
Man. 42 years ago on this day in 1983, Stephen King published Christine, the horror novel about a possessed car. 45 years ago on this day in 1980, legendary director Alfred Hitchcock died at age 80. And 64 years ago, in 1961, ABC's Wide World of Sports showed the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat for the very first time. Those are FPBs and OTDs for April the 29th.
Whether you want a sit-down meal or a grab-and-go, Pat's Pizza in Auburn offers delicious sandwiches, pasta, salads, and pizza at family-friendly prices. Pat's Pizza, serving the LA area since 1985. Open daily from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. at 85 Center Street in Auburn. Online at patsauburn.com.
Now we shift focus fully to our guests in studio, Dan Morris and Joe Cormier of Kennebec Equipment Rental. And Dan, I am told that you are the big cheese.
I am currently, yeah. On the day to day and keep the doors open. You know, we got a good crew. You know, been doing it for over 60 years as a company, and I've been with the company 25 years. So
Wow.
started in the shop and worked way up through, and here I am today.
So what were you doing when you started there?
It's pretty much right out of high school, so
Yep.
it was a job. You know, just a job to pass the time for a couple of years, and then figure something else out, and never left.
And those couple years turned into a couple of decades.
Yeah, it's an industry that's easy to get addicted to just because it's different every day. It's you know, working with people, problem solving, all kinds of good stuff. You know, playing with equipment. So
Right. So what is Kennebec Equipment Rental all about?
so we basically cater to currently, you know, your DIY, your homeowner, your small mid-sized contractor, anything from pressure washers to popcorn machines. Small excavators, skid steers, equipment like that. You drive around our stores. Sometimes people mistake it for, it's just a construction company.
Right.
And that's it. But we do have a lot of homeowner-based equipment, lawn equipment, lifts. Any of the projects get around your house, we probably have the equipment that can help you out with it. So we came from more of an industrial side of it. You know, all of our stores, you see where they are from Bangor to Kittery or around industry. You know, it was Paper Mills, in Maine Yankee was over in Wiscasset. You know, we have a store in Woolwich. We have Bath Iron Works right there. So those are kind of markets that we hit.
Yeah.
As the paper mills dried up, we kind of had to shift our focus on where we wanted to be and who we wanted to take care of. So, like I said, been in since our main office in Fairfield in '64, and then we spread it all around the state. So, we got 6 locations.
Do you rent to own anything, or is it all just strictly rental?
Generally, we do not rent to own.
Gotcha.
Something where if there's a piece of equipment a contractor's looking at buying, we can usually source it. We do sales as well.
Yep.
And then the biggest thing with us is service after the sale. We don't sell equipment and not service it afterwards, not take care of the customer.
Right.
We do some in-house. We do a lot of in-house repairs, and then we do some kind of customers can bring it to us. Most of the time, if it's something we've sold, but we do take outside equipment if we can.
Gotcha.
But our main focus is rental and taking care of our fleet.
What are the big items
This time of year, definitely once it dries up, we have power brooms. Get the dirt that the plow guys have left all over your lawn. Leaf blowers, lifts. Any damage from trees that have come down. We have wood chippers, stump grinders, equipment like that. So a lot of your lawn care stuff to start. That's once it finally stopped raining, except the weekends are the worst. That's when we get work done. So we have a lot of cancellations come Fridays when people realize that, it's going to rain all weekend.
You can't do the thing you want to do.
And with that, hey, we get too much rain, we have pumps as well. We have submersible pumps, things like that too, that can help people out. So,
Yep.
But yeah, this time of year, it's a lot of us that lawn care, that clean up the mess that was left from
Right.
all that white stuff leaving.
Yeah.
All that white stuff. So you love the snow.
That's the one thing we don't have a lot with snow removal type equipment, because it's just such a hard gamble. We have a few pieces we out with contractors, but yeah, we can't wait for that to stop. And if we had no snow all winter long, I'm not going to say my feelings would be hurt.
You're a great resource for that homeowner who doesn't have a lot of storage, which is me.
That's kind of an issue we have. A lot of the equipment, I mean, it's all commercial grade, so it's good quality equipment. Stuff that we have easy to run. We try to stay with that. We've starting to get into cordless equipment with like your outdoor power equipment, which is easier, not dealing with gas. Some forced by manufacturers that stop making gas powered equipment, but others, it's just they see in that trend and it's an easier thing to handle. But yeah, I mean, storage, you're not having to maintain it. You're not worrying about, I'll use a pressure washer 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah.
When you ever go to grab it, doesn't work. You're still going to have to come rent one or borrow one. So any of that stuff.
That's a good point.
You don't want to have to store it. Or just like I said, it's 1 or 2 times. Definitely give us a call. We could definitely help you out. And even some bigger projects, if you get hardwood floors to resand, we have that type of equipment as well. And all of our staff is trained to know how the equipment operates, that they can help you out and be a resource. And with us, usually if we don't have it, we can try to source it from another, even a competitor. We'll send someone away if they have something that will work. 'Cause that's part of the problem solving within the business.
Joe, you are the operations manager at Kennebec Equipment Rental. Tell us a little bit about how long you've been there and what your job entails.
I've been here for 15 months now, and it's just trying to, one, help educate on what we do have. Dan brought me on to kind of be a separate, new, fresh set of eyes from somebody who wasn't in the industry, as we're trying to make sure everybody knows that we're more than just construction. Everybody just has the assumption that we just deal with construction type stuff. A lot of just that information and trying to educate a lot of people while trying to take some stuff off his plate of the day-to-day operations so that he can focus more on helping the business grow. As he said, the industries that we are initially placed in our locations for are kind of all shifting their purposes now, and it's just finding a new way to service those customers, but let everybody know what we have. So a lot of educational right now more is where I'm pushing a lot of the stuff too, but just trying to make sure that all of our branches have exactly what they need when they need it, and keeping things going smooth, because sometimes equipment is utilized at one location and we've got customers that still want to use it, and we just got to get stuff from point A to point B so that our customers still can get the jobs that they need done, because time's money for a lot of them.
Sure.
Especially our contractors, and we want to make sure that they've got everything lined up so that they're not losing out on what projects they need to do. Getting pieces from point A to point B and making sure that our customers are fully taken care of. And like Dan said, if we don't have something, we still want to be the first call.
Right.
Let us be that problem solver for you. Let us figure it out. Let us do the legwork, because a lot of our customers don't have the time to search or drive around because they're trying to get stuff done. So
Right.
if we don't have it, we'll figure it out and we'll do the legwork for you. We want to be that first call.
And you guys, you rent everything. It seems. I'm looking at your catalog. It's insane. So you rent everything from hand tools to what is the largest piece of equipment that you rent out?
We've got the lift, and we've got a 6K mini excavator. Those are, and then we've got scissor lifts as well. So those 3 kind of are bigger ticket items.
Yeah, the tow behind bucket lifts we have are something that anyone can rent with. We just get basic training on, but I mean, get yourself up 40 feet in the air. So if you got painting to do, then that's something commonly homeowner runs. Right. The scissor lifts we have are more of your contractor base. You see them. Sometimes you go to your supermarkets, there's one sitting out there.
Yep.
Sometimes it's not ours, and we try to strive to get ours out there. And we'll bring those all around. And we also deliver the equipment too, so you don't have to worry about transporting it. We have a way to get it to you, and we'll deliver usually within an hour of the locations, if not further. That just cost varies on what that would be. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of a lot of big toys, cool stuff to play with.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, when I started, I didn't have any industry background or any knowledge of it. We kind of started out and was figure out how things work. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff you've tried to think about, like what could I rent? We have being in Maine, we have lobster pots. We have big lobster pots. We have, big 6-foot grills. And so we don't dabble on the party side too much, but that's some of the stuff we have because it works for what we have and what we do, and it's great to have, just for your own parties too. But yeah, I mean, wintertime there's heat. We have electric heaters and propane fired heaters like that, and that's something we knew we've kind of gotten into with the electric. Is it's a lot easier for anyone to use and not having to deal with fuel. Mm-hmm. And then big generators as well. We go from your small little inverter generators up to a 50 kW tow behind that we have a lot of wedding venues that will either rent them or will sub rent to a rental. An event company that needs them, so.
Or desperate homeowners during Maine winters.
Yeah, a lot of contractors own their own now, just out of necessity. But yeah, if you have a power outage for any length of time, I mean, that's when our shelves empty quickly. But even when we had people begging, anyone have a generator, we still had new stock. Trying to get it out there. Like, we have generators. Give us a call, and we're able to solve problems for a few people, even locally. Connections that Joe had. We're just putting stuff out there, sharing it, and that's just a way for us to try to stay out there and let people know what we do have.
Are there any items that you rent out that require training?
That's a good question.
The lifts, there are, it's different because if you're a contractor, you're supposed to have, they call it MUPE training, mobile elevated work platform training. Does everyone have it? Not necessary. For homeowners, we make sure there's that familiarization training so you're safe when you're running it. But to actually have to pay for classes, that's not here yet. There's been proposals. There's states around the country that do have that requirement. And then just running everything, we just make sure when you're going out it's safe. So we even have the personal protective equipment to go along with that that's needed. We don't make anyone purchase it, but we have it available and it's highly recommended. So.
Yeah. Dan, how have you seen the company grow in your 20 plus years?
A lot of it has changed in what our market is. I became branch manager in 2006 and then general manager in 2013. So, and that's kind of where I started being able to have a little bit more influence on what we purchase, what kind of equipment we had. We've seen the customer change just in their beliefs. They want the newest, latest, and greatest. Oftentimes the equipment we have, you can run it for many, many years because it's quality construction equipment. But it's just, you have to have a timeline of when you got to flip it over, when it stops kind of making you money or starts costing money to maintain. Yeah. But appearance is huge. You want something that when that customer takes it there, they're happy with it. But it's also the old mindset of it's just a rental and how our customer's going to treat it. So training your customers to take care of their equipment, and then we can keep providing that quality equipment. But a lot of it shifting into lines and what we've kind of pulled out of our fleet that just didn't make sense to have, didn't make any money, and then bring stuff in that did.
What's the craziest request you guys have ever received?
So I laugh because it's something, if you're in the industry, you figure it out. But we've had some branch managers that were new, or people that started new in the company. When a customer call up and they'll ask for a vibrator. You use that for taking the air bubbles out of concrete in our world. But when someone doesn't know, they are quite shocked as, what are you asking for? What is that?
Rent that?
And it's the slang terms of a lot of stuff that is, it will kind of get you. And if you don't know, and then you kind of going, okay, let me Google this. What is this? What are they talking about?
Don't Google that.
What is the word that they're using? Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's, to go along with that, there's a whacker. It's a playground. It's just learning what things are. So it is crazy sometimes what people will ask for, and sometimes But again, I said there's no dumb questions. There's a lot of people ask for something, and maybe they don't need the tool they're asking for, and they need something else. So it's kind of shifting them and knowing what their project is, and trying to ask more of those questions to kind of qualify the equipment for the job.
What about when customers return your equipment in not so great condition? You must have stories and experience with it. Or they give you a call and you're like, you don't even want this back. Trust me.
Yeah, we've had instances where people have had flooding or whatever, and they run a pump, and they don't tell us where that pump has been used. It's clean water pumps. They're not designed to go. They're not sewage pumps.
Oh no!
This time they come back where all you smell, and there's cases where we've done that. or carpet cleaners that we rent out, they come back and it's, they didn't tell us they were cleaning up a murder scene at their apartment, type deal. It was like, true story.
Oh, my
That customer
Lord.
bought it.
Yeah.
So it was.
Well, you never know when you're going to have another murder scene to clean up. So
I mean, there's different things like that. They come back, even the excavators come back just covered in dirt. We ask customers ahead of time and kind of tell them, like, hey, just treat this like it's your own. You do your best. We don't expect to be pristine, but
Common courtesy.
Right.
yeah, but
Goes
what
a
if they
long
treat
way.
their own stuff like?
but they rent stuff like sewer snakes, and there's things that sometimes those get entangled in things. And most people are decent enough where they'll do their best to clean things out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've seen them come back with things tied up in it that you're like, what are you doing? So
Man,
it's overtime, and that's to me just training the customers, let them know, and there's a hefty cleaning charge if it comes back.
Sure.
there you go.
Not the way we'd like to see it. So
That's how you can enforce it, though.
you learn a lot about people in this industry, that's for certain.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Sarah's going to come visit you.
I am actually so I'm a person who doesn't have a lot of space for storage. I do own my home. I'm figuring out after having another person in my home for 20 years, doing all of the little household things, like I'm figuring out how to do them on my own. So it's sort of like I'm looking at your list of things and I'm thinking, oh yeah, pressure washer could take care of the bricks. It could take care of the deck. It could take care of this. It can help with the paint scraping that I need to do. So, I mean, there's a lot of you have like a ton of tools that I wouldn't want to own personally because I can't imagine using them more than a couple of times. But being able to use them, take care of them, and bring them back to you, that's great for me as somebody with not a lot of space.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
And if you teach me how to use it, that's even better. Because I don't know anything about anything.
Oh, stop.
I don't know nothing about no pressure washers.
Guys, where does all this equipment come from?
So we have quite a wealth of, really, like I said, kind of top level companies that we work with.
Yeah.
In our industry, a lot of people, we're buying it through an independent manufacturer's rep, which is usually local to our area. And we're able to buy, basically direct from the manufacturer. So we're able to buy equipment better, and then again, same stuff as we're reselling it. So we're kind of buying it wholesale, and there's some things that we can't. There's some things like we have to buy from our competitors because there's not enough market for that, or territory rights, things like that. So, but yeah, a lot of times we're buying it direct. Our big buying time is usually they have a big trade show for the rental industry, and usually January, February, March. So we're buying there. Hopefully things come in by April, May, so we get new stuff coming in like right now. I mean, it's when things are coming in.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, we have a lot of stock where it's new, and then, like I said, we have stuff designated to go in the rental fleet.
Joe, what's the best part of your job?
People. I've come from an industry where I've been a public servant for over 25 years between the 911 system and a firefighter and a police officer. And it's always about trying to find ways to help other people. That's always been a goal with any of my professions. And the same kind of deal here is, problem solving and being able to help customers figure out solutions to something they may not even have known that we had the ability to do. We were working with a church who had built a steeple, a cross to be on top of their sign, and they made it out of 6x6 pressure treated wood, and it was 12 foot tall by, I think, 8 foot wide. And they had two guys on ladders trying to walk up
So
ladders
heavy.
and put it on top of, and he goes, I don't know how to get this up. And I'm like, kind of problem solving in my head, and I talked to Dan. I said, hey, would a material lift work? Because we've got these material lifts and it's just basically like a forklift that you use a crank on, and you just push around. And we were able to set the cross in it. We cranked it up, pushed it under, dropped it in, and so a 20-minute job that they had been trying for 2 days to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
And, and just that ability there to think outside the box and just find ways to make things easy for people. And that's fun.
Yeah, so
that's fun.
in that whole scenario, if you're having trouble doing any type of project at home because you can't figure out the best way to do it, just come to you guys and
Yeah.
figure out a solution on the easiest and most
Absolutely.
efficient way to get it done. Cool.
'cause-
I like that.
Tools can be used in different ways. Yeah, absolutely. Just because it's set for a specific thing doesn't mean that it cannot have another purpose. Like the purpose of the material lift is not typically that
Not to lift
situation.
crosses.
But, but it was something that because we were given an opportunity to help them problem solve, we were able to find the solution and save them time and create a safe way of doing it, because the other way they were doing it.
Yeah. Scary.
Oh, yeah.
I imagine that you get some customers who are in dire straits when they come to see you and they need help immediately, which goes along with what you're saying, Joe.
Yeah, no, it certainly does. Even with lots of prompting, where Pam has seen, I've done a lot of posts. Hey, we're about to get 24 inches of snow and we're going to lose power. We've got generators. You might want to get one before the storm.
Nope. Never happened.
And then all of a sudden, the next day, hey, storm's almost here. Yeah. We still got them. And then all of a sudden, here's the storm. Oh, hey, everybody that didn't see my other posts, now that the storm's here and you got no power and really can't see my post unless you're out sitting in your car, because that's the only way you can get on Facebook because your phone ran out of power.
Right.
And the internet is down?
Yeah. We still got generators. And then all of a sudden the phone starts ringing. Oh, you guys got generators? I had no idea. Oh, well. So, there's that type of stuff. We try and be proactive and going, hey, this is a service we got. And that's really, the educational piece of, we're hearing a lot of, I didn't know you guys did that. I didn't know you had that. I didn't know this was an option. Yeah, just trying to get the educational piece of, we've got a lot more than just big stuff or ditch digging stuff for you.
Right.
If you're trying to do a project when you're simply putting a new fence, we've got post hole diggers that you just walk around the yard and it's on wheels and you just zip and you get your holes done. And just simple
that
stuff.
Down. I gotta put it
all, Sarah.
I gotta put in a new fence this year, so
And-
that's perfect.
And people don't think about it, but the lifts, Christmas season.
Oh,
Why use a ladder to do your Christmas lights when you can rent a lift and
be safe.
just, everybody wants the Chevy Chase their house now. So why don't you use a lift? Got to be seen from space. Do it safely.
That's right. Is there anything else about Kennebec Equipment Rental that you guys would like our listeners to know?
Just that we're very community based. We really love to support all 6 communities that we're in. Bangor, we recently, supported the Shrine Circus that was up there. I'm also a Shriner, so it really plays into that. We're supporting the Norway Savings Bank right here. If you've gone, you might have noticed the Zamboni. We've wrapped it like our delivery truck. But we're really, trying to support our community. Dan's huge out in Oxford. He races, and we're heavy in the racing community, and just really trying to leave a positive footprint with anything we can with the community, because without the communities that we're entrenched in, we don't survive. Right. So it's tenfold when you support the community, and the community will support you back. So that's a huge portion of this, and that we're still family owned, and just those little pieces you don't get from the big corporations.
Right.
When you show up at the big corporations, if you don't show up again, they don't care, because somebody's just gonna fill that number. You're just a number. And to us, when you come in, we want you to feel like you're valued, and we want you to feel like you're not gonna have to stress about ever having to worry about not being valued.
Yeah.
So so we really try and portray that with our community footprint.
Dan, do you have anything to add?
We've tried to work out and get our name out there and who we are. Even though we've been around for so long, a lot of it was just word of mouth type advertising. So trying to get out there and just be in the community to where, the strategic partnerships we have, whether it's Norway Savings Bank Arena, Oxford Plains Speedway, Wiscasset Raceway. Areas like that where a lot of those guys are also contractors. So it's kind of hitting the market there, let them know who we are, show them that we support what they do. Locally, we had some equipment we donated to St. Dominic Academy. They're in some struggles right now. They have ball fields they got to maintain. There's not the budget that they wanted. And I was like, hey, we have equipment that can help you out if you guys have the labor. So we donated some equipment to them. They did a great job with their baseball fields, and they're working on that, what they can do, and we're trying to be part of their continuance going forward as well. And we do that around, the Lawrence Bulldogs up in Fairfield, where our hometown is. We've done some sponsorship with them. They have a pretty badass set of girls in their basketball team. So one of the fathers works for us. So we've done some stuff with them and watching them grow and the support that they have, and then giving it back to us. So just seeing that, and being out there, being that community base. And like I said, do what we can just to help out, because that's, to me, small business is what's going to keep these towns going and keep everyone going. When the big guys, have no use for the area anymore, type deals. So and we work with them. We work well with the big players that are in our industry as well. I think they need us as much as we need them sometimes. So it's an industry where even though we're competitors, there's different places around you can look. We all do get along as well, and we're not afraid to send someone to a competitor just to help them out. End of the day, if you have a project and I can't help you, but I can help you by sending you somewhere, I hope that you'd remember that and be like, hey, you help me out.
Sure, yeah. And that's why you want to be the first call.
Definitely.
Right? Mm-hmm. They call the corporations. Yeah. They're not going to give them any other alternatives. Right. Yeah, exactly.
Keep digging.
Yeah. Right. Dan, how long have you been racing at Oxford?
Oh, I started back in 2000, ran until about 2006, had a small hiatus, and then got back into it, and then 2009 to 2013, and then kind of drifted away, and then I've kind of started to come back. Now it's more of a hobby, definitely more of a hobby, and do it when I can. And then my son got involved with it as well, so kind of a third generation family addiction there. And
nice.
But my daughter, she's looking at doing something too. Just a matter of time before she gets behind the wheel of a race car. So
I used to announce your races.
I know you did. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Victory Lane photos way back in the day. So.
Yeah. Interviewed him in Victory Lane and everything.
Wow.
I do have to say, it's funny enough, and not to boost his head, but Mark hasn't aged much at all.
It's super annoying, isn't it? Super annoying.
The haircut.
It's got to be the haircut.
Yeah, the haircut. Your bum.
Yeah, that's weird. That just, you mentioned Oxford Plains that he races, and I'm like, I know that guy. Fantastic. And Joe, you're involved in local sports as well. You are a billet family for some Maine Nordiques, right?
Yeah. We hosted a Thunder Kid last year, Twin City Thunder Kid last year. And he went on to play at Virginia Tech this year.
Oh, wow.
And we surprised him down for a game, and he actually was ACC Defenseman of the Year. Wow. So that was super cool. And then, Mike Stenberg, the assistant captain, came in and from Mass, and he lived with us this year. And it's fantastic when you can do that type of stuff, and especially if you have younger kids. It is such a great opportunity to have, a player like that when your kids are trying to play hockey and learn that stuff too, and you turn your kid into a superstar.
That's
because
right.
all of his friends want to come over to the house. 'Cause,
hey, look who's going to be living with us for the next few
with
months.
us,
Right.
Yeah, I know we had tried to do it for a few years. We actually were set up to have a sea dog, and it was supposed to be Tanner Hawk was supposed to live with us.
What?
And then COVID hit. And the Players Association said, no players living with families anymore. We're gonna house them in. But we almost had Tanner Hawk living with us one year. So that would have been kind of cool. But it's a great experience.
Yeah.
It's a super great experience, and it's great when you have younger kids, and it's rewarding and watching them grow. We've got a great relationship with both Mike and with JH from last year.
Yeah.
And it's long-lasting relationship.
Yeah, Sarah and I have found that. Pam's usually at BNI on Wednesday mornings, and that's when we do our Nordiques interviews. Yeah. So Sarah and I interview the Nordiques when they come in every week, and we love talking to them about their billet families because their faces just light up.
Yeah.
They love their billet families, and they stay in touch. It means so much to them to have a home away from home. Right. And a lot of these kids, as you know, have been away from home since their early teens.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's junior hockey. I wasn't fully aware of what really took place until last year and then this year, and just hearing that like JH was in Canada for 2 years, and he just hopped around all over the place, and Mike's been Canada and a bunch of different programs, because there's so many, and a lot of hockey is now, if you want to play and you want to have success, you've got to go into this junior program instead of staying in high school.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you get seen. So so it's a lot of fun. You learn a lot too. and but the lasting relationships are super cool.
Yeah. And Dan, you've been involved in racing for how many years?
Oh, like I said, about as long as I've been involved with that, and before that, my father raced. So I mean, right from the '70s onward. So it was kind of in the blood. Me and my brother, we did it. My uncle's race, so it was still a pretty heavy family involvement at the track. And same way,
I think you said addiction, which is more accurate.
Yeah,
right.
I almost feel it's worse than drugs or anything like that. Never had that battle, but I mean, it's something that it is once it's there. The only way to not be is you just can't go. You got to stay right away, and that's hard too. And my father did that when he got out. He stayed away until we drug him back, and then back involved as well. So my car is currently housed at his house in his garage, so it's something for him to help with as well. But it's a family sport too, so that's what's fun about it. Same way, and kind of same way you build these relationships, people you know.
Yeah.
I mean, years ago, I know you remember it was Butch Lemberg that was announcer at the track. I was in Missouri for something, and right near where he lived, we stopped by and visit. It was just kind of like,
it's a big family.
So it's pretty cool, things like that, and people you meet and see, and then people that you don't realize, at the amateur level. But there's people that will come up to you. Are you so and so? You're like, yeah. Like,
Why?
What's going on? How do you know me? Whatever. So it's cool like that, just the name and then the recognition.
Locally owned and locally focused, Lydia Media celebrates the heart of the greater Lewiston-Auburn area through 2 magazines, Uncle Andy's Digest and LA Metro Magazine, and the new Lydia's Lunch Bunch podcast. Each production shines a positive light on local businesses, nonprofits, events, and individuals making a difference in our community. Keep your advertising dollars local and position your business in front of your target audience with Lydia Media. Learn more at lydiamediallc.com. Guys, we'd like to close out the show with a segment called 3 Random Questions, where it seems like we've been doing that for a few minutes anyways, but these are going to be even more random.
All right. 7, 16, and 42.
We'll start with Dan on this one. Dan, as you're taking the track at OPS, if you could have one song playing throughout your entire race, what would it be?
Back in the day, kind of would have been some Ludacris with "Move, Bitch." Get out.
Get out the way.
How appropriate.
Now I think I am that one trying to get out of the way. So
Now you're like, now it's go around.
yeah,
Just waving out the
Keep
window.
on running.
There you go. So that's the one?
that's the one.
Move, bitch. All right. Joe, are you primarily a hockey fan?
I soccer.
Soccer. Okay.
I played soccer growing up at Central Maine and was inducted into the Hall of Fame this past year.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on that.
So no, soccer's more my thing.
Okay.
I tinker in hockey because my wife played and now my son plays. So that's the hockey connection.
If there was a video made of your soccer career highlights, what would the soundtrack include?
Would it just kick it?
Just kick it?
Just kick it. Isn't there a song like Kicking It? Or
Beastie Boys?
yeah, I think so. Yeah,
All right.
yeah, just kick it.
Beastie Boys.
Or Ain't Got None Here. Something. I'd make up my own songs. Okay. 'Cause I was a goalie, so it was.
Oh, were you?
Yeah. No soup for you. Just
No goals.
No vacancy?
no vacancy, no room in the inn.
No goals.
Sarah could write a song for you. You've heard her talents here this morning.
I'm really wondering which one we want for our hold music because both
Oh gosh.
both are up there.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know the chords to the second one, so it's gonna have to be the first one. I'll go. Who do we start with first time?
Joe's going first.
Oh, Joe. Joe's first. All right, Joe. If you were a ghost, who would you haunt?
If I was a ghost,
Yeah.
who would I haunt?
Yeah. Who are you coming back for?
My brother. Yeah.
That's a good one.
What would you do?
I just like tie his shoes together.
just mess
I
with
do
him.
this silly stuff. I wouldn't be
You
like
wouldn't scare
super
him.
scary. Like
He would definitely know it was you.
he'd know it was me. Yeah. He'd close the fridge and I'd go back and just open it. Or he'd turn
Or other
the light,
stuff.
He'd turn the light off and I'd go turn it on. Or I'd short sheet the bed while he was in it. Just that type of stuff. Yeah.
Perfect.
There you go.
You'd sheet the bed.
Same question for you, Dan.
I don't know. Like I said, it definitely would be the goofy, silly type, not the horror main. That's
Scary.
thing.
Yeah.
Or of the, just harass someone just because. Hard to pick one person. It'd be like probably the entire family.
Yeah.
They would know my presence was there, and they'd be cursing me and
Yeah.
but laughing at the same time.
There you go.
All right, Dan, if you had one meal to eat for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Ooh,
That's all you could have forever and ever.
definitely a carnivore. So it'd be I laugh. My daughter says the same thing. A big juicy steak. You know,
Steak and potatoes.
medium rare steak and potatoes. As you can tell, I'm a steak and potatoes guy. Yeah, that'd definitely be a nice fillet or a good cut like that.
And Joe,
Anything from a backyard barbecue.
a barbecue meal.
Just a barbecue meal.
But
specifically?
like smoked meat, or do you like just a burger on the grill or
Burgers and hot dogs.
Yeah, burgers
I
and
could
hot
be.
dogs.
I could live off burgers and hot dogs for the rest of my life and be quite okay.
Would be very short life.
Sarah's
I mean,
Sarah's big into nutrition.
okay.
You know,
You're not?
I am, but I mean, hamburgers and hot dogs for the rest of your life. How long is your life gonna be, really? Like,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I guess.
I mean, but you're relaxing at a barbecue.
Yeah.
It's more relaxing
stress.
than just chilling out at a barbecue.
Every day, though, for every meal,
Sarah, you answer that question.
I was just gonna say, what would your meal be?
I would have to go with any I guess pizza.
That's better.
I guess pizza.
I would choose
Because you can-
poke bowl because it has a little bit of everything.
I would say a salad because you could have a different kind
No,
of
I
salad
would
every day,
get sick
but
of a
I
salad.
feel like the rule has to be the same food every day. So it can't be the salad because I would want a different salad every day. You're looking at me like I'm crazy.
He's trying to figure out your method to your madness.
No, I stopped that long ago.
It's been 4 years.
It's like-
There's no hope.
It was like 2 days after we met.
Yeah, no, I'm never figuring that one out.
she's on her own with that stuff.
Mark will ask me a question and I'll answer it, and then I'll change my mind halfway through my answer. And he'll be like, that's kind of what I thought.
She did. It was great. We had an episode last week where I asked her if she believed in destiny. And she goes, of course I believe in destiny. And then she starts talking through it. And by the end, she goes, I guess I
maybe I
don't believe in
I
destiny.
don't actually. Now that I hear myself talking, I guess I don't believe in it.
Yeah. good stuff.
You make your own destiny.
Yeah. You guys believe in destiny? Bonus question.
Say, are you making your own destiny, or is it already made and you're just
Right.
Living it out.
That's the question, right?
Yeah.
I do. I
Do you think it's predetermined?
I don't think it's predetermined, but I think we're set out for good stuff if you do the right things.
Yeah.
I think you can set yourself up
That's what I'm saying.
for good. But that doesn't mean I don't believe that there's good purposes for us to be here for. So yeah, I believe in destiny, and I believe that if you do good things are going to come back to you.
That's karma. That's
Yeah, that's
not
karma.
destiny.
Different, yeah.
No, I'm destined to do good things so that good things happen. But it's not
But
specifically
that's
for me.
transactional. That's
No,
karma.
but it's not for me.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Karma's kind of the bitchy sister of destiny, right? You never think of karma in like a good. It's always never like in a good light.
I try to. I
Positively.
try to. Yes, I'm like karma isn't just about bad.
Yeah.
Karma is also about if you do good things.
You get what you give.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Givers gain.
Way to tie in B and I.
Yeah,
Joe.
B&I. Givers gain.
Is that's part of the language?
Giver's
B&I?
gain is
You
like
guys-
the whole. Yeah.
Dan, are you a destiny guy?
Like I said, I think I look at it. You know, a lot of things how life happens. It's going to happen, and just how you handle it. You know, it's
Right.
You know, you're faced with adversity. You're either going to push through it or let it consume you. So it's sometimes it's hard, but I think you're just figuring it out and get through it. And sometimes you wonder when you get to the other side, how did I get through that?
Yeah. One of my favorite quotes from I think it was Marcus Aurelius, who was a Stoic. He said, "We can't control what happens. We can control how we react to what happens." Mm-hmm. Words to live by.
Yep.
Guys, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for
Thank
being
you.
It's been a lot of fun. We got it deep there at the end. We did. Usually doesn't happen. We usually talk about farts and stuff. but-
here. And we're back.
Thanks to our sponsors, Ruper's Beverage and Redemption and United Piping. And if you'd like to be part of the Lydia's Lunch Bunch advertising family, reach out to Pam via email at pam@lydiamediallc.com.
Have a great day. And remember, don't bite your cat.